Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Coach Red, where we bring you all the news, stories, takes, and opinions about your favorite teams from the Pacific Northwest, from the good to the bad to the Mariners.
The Mariners, baby.
The Mariners are right, and it is time to talk about the Mariners.
Yes, sir.
Been a little bit of a rough stretch. This is typically when you see the episodes where we go completely off the rails and you maybe like beer bong a bunch of Truly's margaritas that taste like crap.
Exactly.
Then you get weird giveaways. But guess what? We're not to that point just yet.
Nope.
But we're getting closer.
Yeah.
Another loss closer.
Yep, another loss closer to us just being wild.
Yeah.
The wild boys just wiling on the podcast.
Thanks.
Well, but we ain't wiling just yet. But before we get you into this Mariners extravaganza, why don't I tell you a little bit about us? If you're looking for a guy that could take down a beer bong in, I don't know, less than 2 seconds of seltzer, maybe you're looking for a guy like me, your boy, Coach Red. You can find me on Twitter at The Real Coach Red, on Instagram at The Real _Coach Red. Also, find us over on YouTube. Search Kicking It with Coach Red. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a comment or two. If you're looking for a guy that will try to beer bong a seltzer, might have a little tears welling up in his eye as he takes the last sip, and he's already smiling because he knows exactly who he is. It's Cain.
Oh, it's me. All right. Hi, yeah, I'm Cain. You can find me on Twitter at Cain2406, YouTube at Cain06, TikTok and Twitch at Cain0624.
And if you're looking for that party guy that's going to take about 15 seconds to take down that Kong Bong one little gulp at a time, maybe you're looking for a guy like Lefty France.
What up, peeps? Follow me on Twitter at Lefty France, on Instagram at DFrance13. Go over and follow the pod on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. Follow us. Do it, freaking do it.
So, last recording was last Tuesday. We were through 2/3 of the Red Sox series. So we had one Red Sox game, full series against the Braves, and one athletics game since the last time we spoke. And we are currently in the middle of athletic game number dos. And
Numero dos.
guess what? Mariners got slapped around. Marco Gonzalez in his start against the Red Sox, much to Cain's joy and excitement, was not good. Cain, bring the hate. You want it. You wanted to unleash it. Bring it.
He had the dad strength for a minute.
I said this to Lefty. I'm not sure if I said this in the group thread or not. I mean, he was on the road. He didn't have the young children. He probably got way more sleep than he should have. And that was the problem. He was on the road too long.
That was brutal.
Yeah. What the last game they got slapped around.
It wasn't good.
They couldn't find hits really, and pitching fell apart, honestly. And it seems to be the case a lot of the time for this squad right now.
I wouldn't say that the pitching's been the reason for the demise. I'd venture more towards the hitting because I believe in that game they scored 2 runs.
3.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Couldn't forget that last run when they.
That was the next game where they only scored 2.
That's true. Then you go to the Braves. They have the Apple TV game, and Mariners. You know, you're sitting there with Bryce versus Bryce Miller versus Bryce Elder, and Mariners. Bryce Miller does pretty well. Gets through 6, goes out 7. They'd only given up a run, and Elder gives up a couple runs, feeling pretty good, and then they were trying to save the bullpen, and Bryce Miller ran out of gas and gave up a couple of hits. Then Matt Brash forgot what the strike zone looked like.
Yeah.
I
feel like that's happened quite a bit. I feel like that's been kind of common with Brash lately.
It came back a little bit over the weekend, He did have a better outing later in the week. Then you go to Saturday. Follow me on Twitter. You would have seen that I said, "Hey, what the Mariners need is a good start by Logan Gilbert. You need to have a couple of multi-hit innings, piece together some runs, score at least 5, hopefully be in good shape." And the Braves went with the bullpen day, and much needed for the Mariners because they did piece together some hits. I believe they scored 7 that day.
Yes, they did.
And Logan Gilbert gave up 2 through 6 plus, or did he get all the way to 7? We got Satasaurus Rex looking at you.
2 seconds. 2 seconds, please.
Oh, you had the
He
stats
went
on
6. He went 6 with 9 strikeouts.
Yeah, great outing.
Yeah,
that
and
was.
not to mention, I believe my boy went lefty once again. He now has 10 home runs on the season.
That was on Sunday.
Oh, was it? No.
Nice
Either
try.
way,
Nice
he's
try.
still
trying to
let's see.
sneak in the extra Celtic glove. Or
Yeah.
He still went 2 for 5. Batting average is still at 294.
So, quick question before we go into the rest of the games. Next jersey purchase, I know that I probably don't need to ask, but I'm going to. Who's the next jersey purchase on your board there, Cain?
Is the next who am I getting?
Yes.
J-Rod.
Oh, not Kelnick.
No, it's always been J-Rod. I
could have fooled all the listeners.
I do love
Good.
JK. I do love
you
JK,
did.
but I was telling my wife that I need the City Connect Julio jersey.
I was gonna say you did have a nice string of 1-year wonders in the jersey collection. Had like the Percy Harvin Seahawks.
Hey, okay. My ex-girlfriend got me that for Christmas. So
Percy.
Great gift.
And then mom used it forever.
Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, he did have a big play in the Super Bowl. He also played like 4 games.
Yeah,
for the Seahawks.
All right, continue though.
Okay, go Sunday where Jared Kelly did hit a home run. Guess who else hit a home run? Jose Caballero.
First.
And then guess what? They lose the game, but don't worry. Kelnick and Caballero, they were like in stepbrothers. Did we just become best friends? Hit back-to-back days with homers? Yes,
Yeah.
they did. And Kelnick's was a bomb, 454, and Caballero was like 425. Oh, it was tanked too. Almost out of the bullpen.
Was laced.
Yes, it was.
The runs came in droves.
Yes, it did. And I mean, it seemed like everybody was hitting around. Gino had a great game.
Yeah, I guess you call him the ace. He was the opening day starter, Mueller, and big lefty, but massive ERA. And yeah, he got hit hard most of the day.
And as you know, you perfectly stated on previous podcast, Lefty, what the hell did you do to Gino Suarez?
Yeah. What's your problem? Why did you make him have great plate discipline? Because the dude is striking out less and walking way more. It's like the reverse. It was
he
like
knew.
the reverse
He was listening.
Luis Torrens. Like Luis Torrens, best defensive guy on the team. I sat back down to the minors 1 second after you said it. Like, you know what? Maybe he's not the best catcher. Maybe he should be a first baseman. Maybe a second baseman. Hell, let's have him.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Gino.
It happens. It seems
so
like
disciplined.
every game. It just his strike zone. Just he's so good at controlling it now.
It's wild.
Like don't know what happened, but
he's just sending you a good vibes only shirt.
Yeah,
he should send me one. Gino.
The other thing, Teoscar's not hitting the ball out of the park as often, but damn, is he cutting back on the strikeouts, putting the ball in play more.
Yeah, and I believe we talked about this last time, moving him down to what was it, 6th?
Yep.
I mean, he kind of, it's kind of like a mental check, like, hey, we can move you down. We have guys hitting way better than you right now.
I know. I'm
And
still just baffled by Julio. Like, hey, we talked to Julio. I'm moving down the lineup. He's getting out of the leadoff spot, going right to the 3 hole.
you know
I
what?
could have swore he was going to the 5 or 6 hole.
You know, I think that's a smart move, putting like JP at the leadoff spot, because he excelled so much at it last year. He was one of the players of the month to start the year.
Yeah,
at the
but for
leadoff
me,
position.
JP is he's the top 2 OBP guy for you, and he doesn't have that straight line speed, but like we've talked about in the past, the dude is just phenomenal on the base paths with angles and taking that extra base. And with your next highest OBP guy being, Ty France, because not only does he put the ball in play a lot, he also gets plunked the most on the team.
Yeah.
But when you talk about non-wheels, he's not winning many foot races on this team.
No.
But now everybody's been playing somewhat decent. It's just the games haven't gone in their favors.
Yeah, and that's what's leading us to the second half of our episode, which is trade ideas. It might be a little bit early, but around this time last year, Jerry Dipoto makes a swing and goes and gets Carlos Santana, who was not the highest average guy, but the dude came up in so many clutch situations, which kind of led you to be able to go get Luis Castillo. So we decided to make some trade offers ourselves to improve this team. And I believe we're going to start with. It was going to be Cain because he had like 4 ideas. But do we still want to go with Cain? Let's go with Lefty. Lefty, you've been gone. You've been gone for so long. The people want to hear you first.
All righty. So I have I gotta remember or look up which prospect he was. Number 10 prospect, Tyler Locklear from the Mariners. Number 17. Number
Did you just
7
get transported to Russia. Number 5.
Number 17 prospect, Isaiah Campbell, and Colton Wong for Charlie Blackmon and CJ Crone. The reason behind this is we need to get the bats going. Crone and Blackmon can both DH. Blackman's more of a special, I guess, always DHing for the most part. He's not really in the field.
He's been a huge average guy most of his career, and the home runs were there, but mostly the dude just put the ball in play and just dropped it in.
Exactly. So I think giving up 2 prospects and Colton Wong that has not really done anything for us. For those 2 guys that are pretty reliable hitters, I think it's pretty fair trade. So
and I love guys. This. Yeah, and I love the CJ Crone bit because I mean, you have Gino, who's supposed to be the power guy. When you really look at this team, he's supposed to be our power guy. And yes, his power is still there, but he's not hitting the ball out. He has 3 home runs on the year. When he gets a hold of them, they're gone. But we need that consistent guy. And right now it's Jared Kelenic, but you need to have like a right-handed power hitter too. And that's where CJ Crone fits perfectly. I don't think it's, the Coors effect with him. He can hit you about 35 to 40 a year. And I really think this team could use somebody of that caliber.
Definitely.
I like the Charlie Blackmon throw in because that just reeks of Carlos Santana vibes. Like, guy that's been in the league forever. He's experienced some success on some of the older Rocky teams. He's been through not a lot of success here in the recent years, but this guy has played at a high level for a long period of time. Yes, he is older, but having some of those older veteran pieces, because we seem to forget, I mean, at least I do, this is still a relatively young squad. Like, your oldest position players are Tom Murphy, not a starter, Gino, Teoscar Hernandez.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Those
pretty crazy.
and JP is, I would kind of
I
consider
think
him.
Caballero is like 27
Yeah, but he's
as
rookie, doesn't count.
well. But
So I
you have a
think
young
like
team, and also as we've always said, good vibes, right? The
Good vibes only.
the Rockies have not been good, and the biggest really splash they've made in the last couple of years. I mean, they let go of Arenado. Trevor Story's gone, and they signed Chris Bryant to an 8-year deal for a non-competitive team. Like, I
it's all about that cash, homie.
because when we got Santana, I mean, where did we get him from?
We got him from the Royals. It was actually the second time. It was actually the second time that we acquired him, because the first time he never played for us.
Right.
Because he was part of the JP Crawford deal.
But
he got flipped for Edwin Encarnacion.
But it's kind of I do agree. Like, he's on a bad team, and then he came to the Mariners, and they have fun. And so I could see a complete 180.
Dude, I think that Blackmon would bring the fun. Like, he seems like a fun vet to be around.
Yeah.
He also looks like, hey guys, we have an off day. I'm gonna go set up a tent at the base of Mount Rainier, and I'm gonna forage off the land for a day.
Yeah.
I can see him doing that too.
Definitely.
He's got Northwest vibes.
Yeah, he does.
But I like that trade a lot.
And when we looked at the big shout out to, what was it, Trade Value Simulator, or Baseball Trade Values, for giving us values. Actually, the Rockies are getting plus value, because technically Charlie Blackmon's at like a -10 and Colton Wong's only at like a -1.2. So they're getting a lot of value, because CJ Cron's only clocking it at a 1.
And you get 2 pretty decent prospects.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, I mean, for them, you're getting 2 guys that are currently on the Mariners 40-man, and Colton Wong and Isaiah Campbell. So for the Rockies, they're not going to have to do any roster gymnastics to get those guys on the 40, because you're giving up 2 guys on the 40 and get 2 guys on the 40.
Right.
All right, Cain.
All right.
Give us your idea.
I am going with the Mariners going and getting another pitcher. They're going to make a deal with the Chicago White Sox for pitcher Lucas Giolito, and they are going to give up I believe it's their number 6 prospect, their number 8 prospect, and I believe their 11th prospect, Arroyo, Dollard, and Gonzalez. I think this team, the starting pitching has struggled a bit, a little bit, and
that's like the calling card of this team right now, is their starting pitchers.
You know, I just see them get hit around a lot. There's some runs. The Mariners have been competitive in some of those games, but I think if you could get at least Marco out, and you're getting a guy with a 1-year deal, so it's basically a rental, and you're getting a guy that was considered Cy Young material 2 or 3 years ago.
Mhm.
The White Sox organization is in shambles. You see Luis Robert getting sat for not hustling a play out. Tim Anderson is not looking like he's having fun. The MVP from 2019 left in the offseason because he didn't want to be there anymore. And it seems to be when they get a pitcher, they just fall to shambles. I mean, look at Dylan Cease this year. He was a top. He should have won Cy Young last year. Didn't.
So
And,
what you're saying is he's ceasing to amaze White Sox fans.
Yeah. I mean, he's got like a 6 ERA this year.
Dude, I'm
Lucas
killing it with dad name, with like using people's names and like really terrible puns. It's great.
But Giolito has not been fantastic the last couple of years. I believe he's dealt with some injury as well. And you're going to get a guy who can come in and pitch well with the pitching coach. I mean, look at how well some of the relievers have been with their pitching staff. Like, it's been really good. I think it'd be a great fit.
I like it. I mean, from watching the Mariners so far this year, the starting pitching has been impressive to my eye, but I mean, you can never have enough top tier pitching. And do you expect Bryce Miller to be able to keep up the pace that he's been on for a full season? That's not realistic. He's going to get figured out a little bit. George Kirby's going to be putting up the most pitches his arm has ever seen and higher leverage situations. Logan Gilbert right now is a little bit, good start, great start, bad start. You're throwing in that. And Luis Castillo hasn't been as crisp. Last night, a little bit of a difference maker. It's always good to play the A's. And then Marco's going to be that up and down. He's going to get you about 6 innings, and he hopefully only gives you up 3.
Yep.
And with Robbie Ray being on the IR and flexing back in the bullpen, it's like I wouldn't see it outside of the realm possibility to go get another guy.
And how often?
The 1 year thing kind of scares me a little bit, though.
How often do the people at the bottom of the top 10 prospects, how often do they really make it to the major league level? I mean,
dude, I'll tell you right now is there's one prospect for the Mariners that is untouchable for me, and that is Walter Ford. He is a right-handed pitcher, and he is 18 years old. I believe he was drafted last year, and I believe he is a reliever, has potential to grow. But the reason I wouldn't trade him, because his nickname is the Vanilla Missile, and he has a clothing brand company where it's legit like a rocket going with a scoop of ice cream on top of it. Vanilla is just like melting down the side. It's dope.
That is awesome.
The Vanilla Missile. Oh, dang
I get.
I got off of what I was looking at. Get out of here. Vanilla Missile. All right, you guys ready for my trade?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Going back to the dumpster fire that is the Chi Sox, go give me Tim Anderson. And with Tim Anderson, this is a guy who he's batting .250 this year, which would be a pretty good average on the Mariners team. The power numbers haven't been there this year. He has no homers, 6 doubles, but I don't think that it's a good situation at north side of Chicago. They ain't looking good there. Get him out.
They're this. I'm pretty sure they're the south side.
Yeah.
Because that's their city connect is south side.
Well, I said north side, and you shook your head.
I had to think about it for a second. All right.
All right.
I corrected you.
South side of Chicago. Okay. And if you bring him onto this team, I think that you can have him get DH bats. Him and JP can play on the field at the same time at short and second. Caballero, who's come on strong, could still have a role on this team. And he brings you an electrifying player and it's not a 1-year rental. He has this year plus next year left on the deal. To go get him, we're going to have to give up some prospects, because when you're looking at a team that is in rebuild mode that expects to be competitive year in, year out, we're not talking about the A's here where it's like, oh, this guy's good. Cool. Let's get some prospects that are 3 years down the road. You're going to have to give up some guys that are at the MLB level or are going to be there pretty soon. So in this trade scenario, I'm giving up Emerson Hancock. He clocks in at number 4. He is the closest starting pitcher we have in the minors. Him and Dollar are probably the two closest to making their debuts. And Emerson Hancock is a guy that's been in the minors for a few years and is, I believe, slotted higher than 4. He slipped a little bit, but he's bouncing back a little bit more this year. I'm going to throw in Jonathan Classe. He is our 12th best prospect. He is recently got moved up to Double-A from Single-A Everett. He's right now clocks in as the fastest guy on the team. He was our minor league player of the month over the first month of the season. I'm going to give up our competitive balance pick that I believe we gained from Julio winning the AL Rookie of the Year, being on the squad to start the season. And to make the values match up, I'm going to get, since we're taking someone from their 40-man, I'm going to put someone on their 40-man and a guy that is MLB ready, and that's Penn Murphy. And Penn Murphy still has some years of club control. Getting a reliever back, plus getting a guy that in Class A who's going to be probably 1 to 2 years out from Major League ready, but a big speed guy that also peppers in some power, and then a guy that could potentially be a middle to 2, 3, 4 starter in your rotation. I think that's a pretty fair deal to give up for a year and a half of Tim Anderson, who obviously wants to get out, where you saw him at first base, which could have been taken out of contest, but he said, "Get me the F out of here."
Yeah.
Or no, he didn't say that. He said, "I effing hate this place."
Yes.
And that was after he got on base.
Yeah,
Yes.
Usually
sad.
people are jacked. Mariners, we're doing this. We're silent and profiling. We're not saying, "Give me the F out of here."
Yeah.
I effing hate this place.
And I'm pretty sure he said it to Jose Abreu as well.
And he, granted, he's not putting up the numbers that you expect, but he's still batting 250. The power's not there. But guess what?
He's never been a power guy, though.
But he does hit electrifying homers. Like
He does.
He hit that one in
Field
the
of Dreams. Yeah,
that was so.
That was insane.
Oh man, that caught you right in the feels.
Yeah,
Walk-off dinger just into the corn.
He could be the firecracker that the team needs.
Well, and I think that him and JP would play so well off each other, because JP's kind of like the cool firecracker. Because like JP, a couple weeks ago, bases are juiced. He hits that double that clears him. The team goes off of his energy. When he's hyped, this team is hyped. And if you can get those two energy playing off each other, I mean, you can see some pretty special things coming out of that.
Yeah.
And having them up the middle with the caliber of JP, who this Jerry Dipoto, Scott Service have talked ad nauseum about how important JP Crawford is to this team. And to throw in a guy like Tim Anderson, who was the centerpiece of one of the centerpieces of their position players when they were a good team. And the dude's the starting shortstop for Team USA.
Yeah. He's a baller.
Was this year at the WBC.
He started one game.
Yeah, the first one that I watched.
He's a baller, though.
Yeah.
Yes. I would really like.
We would have the swaggiest middle infield.
Yeah, we would.
Just ripping.
And if it comes true, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but last year, before anybody talked about it, I did predict Juan Soto to the Padres. I want that known.
Yeah, but we're talking about trades to the Mariners. We're not talking about to the Padres.
But I'm saying if you get it right, because that's a pretty sound trade. And if you get it right, just hats off to you, man. It's gonna be like the
Keep the
greatest.
receipts.
It's gonna be the greatest feeling in the world.
No, I'm just happy to bring creative content. I won't ever put it in anyone's face when I'm right about stuff. That's not me.
Keep the receipts, boy.
Just
Okay.
kidding. Just kidding.
Okay.
I will. I'll let you guys know a lot. Don't worry, I won't. And if I get it horrendously wrong, you guys can, jab me about it as we have had some jabs on here before. Like
Yeah.
Peter Skarinsky, Reds defense. Never forget. All right.
Never forget.
And never forget to hop on over to social media to give us a follow. Maybe pitch some of your trade ideas for the Mariners. Maybe do the baseball trade value. Send us some of your ideas. To do that, you can send them over to me, your boy Coach Red, on Twitter at @TheRealCoachRed, on Instagram at @TheReal_CoachRed. Also hop on over to YouTube, search Kicking It with Coach Red, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a comment or two. Cain, where you at?
Find me on Twitter at Cain2406, YouTube at Cain06, TikTok and Twitch at Cain0624. Come through and watch me use Kyle Seager, huge Mariner, legend on the God Squad.
When's the next live stream?
Probably this weekend, Friday and Saturday.
Probably this weekend. Get your tickets. Do you get tickets?
Sure.
You should. Everyone that opts into the chat, you should just send like the ticket emoji.
You get a ticket.
Here comes the train.
Or just, and then also wear a bro tank so you can also give them a ticket to the gun show.
I most likely will wear bro tank.
Boom. Lefty France, where you at?
Follow me on Twitter at Lefty France, on Instagram at DFrance13. Go over and follow the pod on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. Follow us. Do it, freaking do it.
And as always, stay fresh.
Stay fresh, peeps.
Peace.